Welcome back to Pages with Sidra, guys. Today we continue with Chapter 159 of Standard of Reincarnation. If you haven't seen Part 1, make sure to check it out first. And if you're new, all the chapters from 1 to 158 are already uploaded on my channel. Alright then, let's get into it. As the story picks up from the last chapter, Vincent had thrown his sword straight toward two young soldiers advancing toward him in the freezing blizzard. Out in the snowy mountains, the blade gleamed coldly in the snow before their feet. Keshin frowned, shouting furiously, "What is this? You dare throw your sword at us? Do you want to die?" But before things escalated, Mariel quickly stepped in. "Calm down. This man is Vincent Adenka. He saved me." The other boy, Brick, looked stunned. "Vincent, the seventh son of the patriarch?" Keshin's tone changed immediately. "What? So he's an 8th rank?" Then, puffing his chest, he barked again. "You rookie, did you just throw your sword at your senior?" Vincent slowly stood up from where he had been sitting in the snow. His calm, commanding voice cut through the cold air. When conducting an investigation in bad weather, the team must be divided into groups of at least 2 people. That's a basic rule from the Fortress Manual. So tell me, why did you leave Mariel isolated and continue the mission alone? Keshin hesitated, clearly embarrassed. That's because. But his pride snapped. If we follow every rule like that, when will we ever finish searching this mountain? You're just an 8th rank. What do you even know? From the side, Sari spoke firmly. Master Vincent has now been appointed as a temporary castle breaker warrior. That's not a title you can ignore, especially as a student. Keshin's thoughts raced. Castle breaker warrior? I've never heard of such a thing. Still, his arrogance flared. Even so, he's just a rookie who's only done 1 or 2 missions. We've already completed several missions and contributed to the service of Adenka lands. Grabbing Vincent's sword, Keshin glared at him. You're showing off because of your family name. But experience matters here. A rookie like you is. He didn't finish the sentence. Vincent's hand shot out, grabbing Keshin's wrist and hurling him to the snowy ground with effortless strength. Pointing his sword down at the fallen soldier, Vincent's eyes were cold. You were talking about experience? What I've been through is beyond your imagination. Don't overstep your bounds when you haven't even mastered the basics, rookie. The wind howled through the camp, carrying the weight of those words. The scene shifted to Jillian, the central camp. Inside the briefing hall, Vincent sat across from Mariel. Another beast spirit? Vincent asked. Mariel nodded gravely. Yes, the one that attacked my leg wasn't an ogre. It looked more like the ogre was running away from something. A huge black tiger. Her voice trembled slightly as she recalled it. A tiger as massive as the fortress walls appeared, destroying the abandoned village I was investigating. I was sure I'd die there. But suddenly, it turned away and disappeared into the blizzard. Julian, listening carefully, frowned. Black tigers don't live in snowy regions. And its behavior, it seemed to have a purpose. Vincent's eyes narrowed. Just like Torniken's mission, this might be the work of a tamer. Someone who brought a dangerous beast spirit into these mountains. Marielle's cheeks flushed slightly as she looked at Vincent and whispered softly. Vincent, I'm scared. Will you hug me? Vincent blinked in surprise. What? But as he looked at her trembling eyes, he sighed and allowed her to come closer. Marielle smiled faintly and leaned against him, her voice gentle. Thank you. Across the room, Keshin watched the scene with clenched teeth, jealousy burning in his eyes. He's getting arrogant just because he's a bit superior. And that Marielle? What does she even see in him? Smiling like that next to him. Unable to hold back his frustration, Keshin barked. Hey you, follow me to my room for a moment. Vincent didn't even glance at him. I have nothing more to say. If you have business, come to my room yourself. Keshin's eye twitched in anger. He raised his hand, his voice shaking with fury. I've been too lenient with you. But before his punch could land, Vincent released a surge of aura. The air grew heavy, crushingly heavy. Marielle, Keshin, even Keshin, all 3 struggled to breathe, their bodies trembling as if the weight of the world pressed upon them. Their thoughts ran wild. He just released his mana. I can't breathe. Is he a monster? Then, as calmly as he had begun, Vincent withdrew his power. He walked past Keshin, his tone cold and commanding. I've run out of patience with your childish behavior. Next time, I won't be lenient. Keshin could only grit his teeth, muttering under his breath. Damn it. Vincent entered his room, where Julian awaited. There was nothing suspicious in this room, Julian reported. Vincent nodded. Good job, Julian. It seems there are no assassins from the Council of Elders among the military students either. He paused, recalling how no one had reacted when he unleashed his mana earlier. If there were an assassin disguised as a student, they would have shown at least a little bit of killing intent when I used my mana pressure. Vincent sighed, half to himself. Have they still not made a move from their side? Perhaps I was overreacting, because of my mother's words. Just then, knock, knock. A soft voice came from the other side of the door. It's me. Marielle. May I come in, Vincent? Julian raised an eyebrow. Marielle. Vincent hesitated a moment, then replied quietly. Come in. The door opened. Marielle stepped inside, wearing a soft nightgown and holding 2 cups of tea. I'm coming in then, she said with a gentle smile. Julian's eyes widened. Even though he didn't have a body, he could feel his heart pounding. She's really so beautiful. Marielle placed the teacups on the table. The tea smells nice, Vincent murmured. Really? Marielle smiled playfully. I chose it specially for us to drink together. You saved me, and I haven't been able to thank you properly yet. And also to apologize for Keshin's rudeness. I wanted us to talk, at leisure. Vincent looked at her, suspicious. This late at night. Marielle stepped closer, her tone soft but teasing. It's better because it's night. Before Vincent could react, she gently pushed him down. He landed back on the bed, surprised, as Marielle leaned in closer, her voice barely a whisper. Because the night is long, and in it, we'll be able to have a deep connection, right? And that wraps up of chapter 158 of Standard of Reincarnation. Things are definitely getting spicy between Vincent and Marielle. Huh? If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching Pages with Sidra, and I'll see you in the next part.